Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. Happy Friday, Black Friday. So this is a Black Friday edition of the podcast, special edition. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. I hope everyone had a blessed and great Thanksgiving yesterday. I did. Totally ate too much but had a good time with my wife, and a good friend came over, and we just laughed, ate, watched some football, and just had a good time. So it was a great blessing. And like I said, I hope everyone again had a safe and blessed Thanksgiving. But like I said, it's a Black Friday edition of the podcast. So before we get started, let's get it. Hit my music. Once again, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. Happy Black Friday. As I said at the top, hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving with family and friends. But now we're back on the podcast grind. So I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. You can follow the show on all the podcast platforms, whether it's YouTube, Apple, Spotify. We're also on iHeartRadio, BS3 Network, BS3 Network, TVLive.com. Spreaker, BS3 Network, Roku channel, wherever you consume podcasts, we are there. And you can follow me on all the social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's where I'm the most active, but I'm also on TikTok and Blue Sky as well. But I have a very special guest. Looking forward to getting to know her a little bit and what she does and things like that. And so let me bring her in. We have Elizabeth Diane Veith. Hope I said that right. I've been practicing it. So and everything too. Okay. All right. Golfing inspiring with the military and vets. We're gonna get into all that. I'm really intrigued by that story as well. And she's a wife, a mother, does a little bit of everything too. So welcome to the show, Elizabeth. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for doing this as well. And again, we're gonna get into like your golfing and do fashion, but also, as you said, golf inspiring with the military and vets. I think that's very important as well. So you get to tell your story and everything too. So I'm glad to share your story. So appreciate the time and appreciate you doing this as well.
Of course. No, once again, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let's get started. I always ask my first time guest on the show, who is Elizabeth Diane Veith, and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, as you mentioned, I do a lot. I am mainly known on social media from a golf content creator and influencer standpoint. I've been doing that for about 6 years now. So everybody asks the question of how did you become a golf influencer? And it's one of my favorite questions to answer because it's not like this was planned. It is not something where I was like, okay, I'm going to become the next YouTube or Instagram or TikTok star. It was, I wanted to share my golf journey. So I got into golf about 6 years ago from some career advice from my aunt before she passed away. And I asked her, she was working at my company at the time, and I asked her, what did I need to do? What was her career advice for me to continue to go up in the corporate world? And she said that I needed to know how to play golf, which was crazy to me because it wasn't, go into sales. It wasn't move around from a department standpoint. It was, you need to know how to play golf. And I was just like, okay. So I picked up the sport about a year after that and wanted just to share my journey in regards to learning golf. And I mean, I went to the PGA show, picked up some like pink sparkly clubs off the shelf as my first golf clubs, and was like, we'll see if I like this or not. Hopped into a group lesson and fell in love with it. I mean, the instructor was like, how long have you been doing this? I'm like, you're watching it. This is how long I've been doing it. So
yes.
I grew up dancing ballet. So if you show me something, I can replicate it, which can be dangerous in the golf game or it can be great in the golf game. So he was like, you really need to pick this up. You really need to get into this. And I was like, we'll see. But I actually had a group of ladies that I learned to play golf in after that group lesson. And every Tuesday we would go out and we would play 6 holes instead of 9 holes. So it was we called it the baby league.
Okay.
So what the instructor would do is actually put us about 100 yards out, and we would then learn how to play in from the green, and then she'd back us up every week. So it was really great because I got to learn the game. I got to learn the rules. I got to kind of have a trial and error period of like, I didn't have to agree to 9 holes. I didn't have to agree to going out with somebody. I was learning with beginners as well. So that was really awesome and made me fall in love with the game. Really fall in love with it to the point where, I would say I almost have a golf addiction now. So, that actually led me to share my story and share, hey, this is what I learned this week every single Tuesday. So my social media blew up from there. And I really, started sharing, hey, this is what I'm struggling with as a beginner. This is as I got more into the game, what I was seeing, what was helpful, what wasn't as helpful. And, the rest is kind of history from a social media standpoint. So it's been really fun. It's been kind of a crazy journey. There's points where I look back and I'm like, I'm doing what? I'm playing where? So it's been really awesome. But that's kind of how I got started in that.
Okay. All right. And like I said, we kind of the algorithm of Instagram and YouTube and things like that. We got to connect on that front. And we got a couple of comments here and everything. You guys have any questions for Elizabeth? Please put them in the chat as well. Vince Wright, who I know he does a little golfing too. He said golf is huge on YouTube. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the golf influencers on social media. We'll get into a little bit of that as well. Nathan Ramasandra from the Nathan Sports Rush. He says, hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for the comments. He said Thanksgiving. He said his team does a lot with LPGA women's golf. So we appreciate that. Yeah, he does a lot with the LPGA and everything too. So we'll get back into you said corporate world and into that advice to go right into golf. I find that fascinating because, as you said, you want to just kind of say you want to see, okay, how can I evolve in this? And you said, and your lady aunt said, you got to get into like golf and influencing and things like that, which is an interesting transition. How would you say that the transition has gone from the corporate world now into, you said, golf influencing?
So I'm still balancing both. So that's one thing that I really like to share. In all of my social media is I still have a full-time job and I'm content creating on the side.
Yes.
Which is a lot. And I know a lot of people are like, how are you doing that? How are you managing it?
Yes.
But really you have to carve out specific time for, that content creation. So I have, been able to play rounds, show, travel from a golf standpoint on stuff, but you have to, of course, balance it out, schedule it, make sure that you're still working that 9 to 5, and then also making time from a content standpoint. So the transition has been pretty easy for me because once you figure out how to carve it out and fit it within your schedule, it works really well. But you have to be very focused. Like you have to time block it out, sit down, create that content. And some days it can be a little bit of a grind because you're like, oh, I really don't want to do this today. Or like, oh, I'm not feeling inspired today. But you've got to force yourself to sit down and create that content. So that really helps, and planning out a lot of things. Making sure that you've got your content planned. And I really tried to show authentically, like, hey, like I'm working a long day at work, or hey, I, am going to the simulator after work at night because, I'm working a full-time job. So I really, pride myself on being very authentic in my content and sharing with folks, like, here's actually what I'm doing real time. Or, hey, this was a post from a while ago. Because I get that question a lot of like, aren't you at work? And I'm like, yeah, I am at work. But that was last weekend.
Yes.
So making sure everybody knows, hey, this is, some of my posts are real time, some of them aren't, but being able to have that balance because, let's be honest, from a content creator standpoint, there's a lot of creators out there that are able to have their full-time job be content creation, but the majority of us are doing something behind the scenes as well.
Yes, absolutely. I can definitely resonate with all that what you said about working a full-time job, I do the podcast, love doing the podcast, just like you said, content creating. You love it too, and as I said, we're doing that in between and balancing. Like I said, I have today off, so I'm able to do a show in the morning. Usually, I'm doing a lot of my shows in the evening, and editing and things like that. Doing that during sometimes, I mean, if I have a break, I do it during work, or I have to do it on the weekend. As you said, someone like, "Hey, aren't you working?" Yes, I am working, but I did this on the weekend. But I'm just, editing and putting stuff together on my 15 minutes or so. Yeah, balancing is when you said you prioritize it enough to balance it, and you can definitely do it. So I could totally resonate. And on top of that, you're a mother too now, so that I'm sure that, and that's very important. I mean, that's probably the most important, mother and wife. Then you said that's another balancing that you have to do now to still try and find time to do it. And I love the advice of you got to push through it. I say the same thing for sure. So I love that. I love that as well. So that was one of my questions about how you balance that as well. How do another question with that of spending time again with family, work, and also kind of creating. Said you do balance that. Where do you put that time in? How you balance that time? I'm fascinated by that. How you balance all that time of doing that, instead with family time, and then also traveling and content creating as well.
Yeah. So once again, it's a lot.
Mhm.
I don't want to downplay that it isn't a lot. Everybody's
Right,
like, you make it look so easy. And I'm like, yeah, because I've been doing it for a little bit.
right. And the
So
final
I've
product
figured
comes
it
in
out.
like that. They think that, but it's like no. The behind the scenes is much harder than what people think.
Totally is, as you know.
Yeah,
Really, making sure that you're planning things. We're a golf family. So
yeah.
my son is one. We've had him out on the golf course since he was 3 months old.
Hmm.
So it's been awesome to really just get him out there. And of course, he doesn't do much right now. He just hangs out in the golf cart and watches us.
Yeah,
My husband is a professional golfer, so he is certified from a PGA standpoint. So he actually teaches golf, works at a golf course. So
yeah.
golf has been a part of our lives since day one, even way back when we were dating. So it's been very easy to have golf trips planned as a family, to say, oh, let's go, have a round after work.
Yeah.
So that has been great, because it isn't like, oh, I have to go do this away from my family. My family is a part of golf with me. So that's been really awesome. And it's been great to be able to, play some rounds with my husband at, top 100 courses. Like as an example, we were able to golf Cypress Point Club, which has been, it's number one right now. It's going to be really hard to beat in my book. But we
Yeah.
were able to do that together. So it's really planning those vacations that also include golf and also include, getting out there. So my advice to anybody that is like, hey, I'm having issues balancing, family life and golf, and like, how do you do that, is get
Yeah.
them involved in it. Even if your wife doesn't play, take her out, be like, hey, come sit in the cart, or hey, just come outside. Like, it's a beautiful day. Come hang out with me at the range. We'll go grab drinks or dinner after. Just try to incorporate them as much as possible, because it really doesn't matter if they're doing it with you. It matters that they're out there spending time with you. So
Right.
really trying to create that quality time and incorporating golf in it would be my advice to anybody who's really like struggling with that family balance. Totally understand there's times too where you're like, I want to disconnect. I want to get away from family and have a
Mhm.
moment to myself. So no knock on anybody that wants to do that. I mean, that is definitely something that we all need as well. But if you're struggling with that balance and you want to be, spending more time with your family, but you want to be golfing, out on the golf course as well, bring them out. Make it
Yeah.
fun for them as well, especially if you've got young kids.
Yeah, that's really great advice, because you said balancing family and the things you love to do. But you said golf is life. Golf is part of your life,
Yeah.
and so like you said, it was an easy transition for you, because you said you have the support. That you said your husband is in golf as well, so that really is, and it's part of it. So part of your lifestyle as well. So I love that. I really do enjoyed that answer, what you said on that. Let's move on to your golf game, what would you say is your biggest strengths of your golf game over the past 6 years, and things that you would think you would like to work on for the past 6 years?
Yeah. So for the past 6 years, for some reason, I can get off the tee really well. Like my driver, you put a driver 3-wood in my hands, I'm good, which has been awesome. Even par threes, my 7-iron, I mean, off the tee, I would say I don't have any nerves. I'm good off the tee, which is, half of the battle sometimes. So I feel like that has been a really strength in my game. I've used a lot of my, lower body power, to actually, drive the ball a lot further than most women. So that's been really fun. I've never thought of getting into long drive or anything like that, but it's because I don't have those numbers yet. But I do really feel like, hey, if you put me in a scramble, usually we're using the majority of my drives, which is great. So that's been a strength. Something that I really had to work on, and one piece of advice that I would give to any beginner golfer is work on your short game. That has been something that I have really had to grind on. And I really feel like short game is where it's at. A lot of people are like, oh, you drive for show, putt for dough. And I was like, but no, I mean, it's true. You really do. I mean, you can have your tee shot, go 30 yards left, still be in play, but you're in the rough. Get on in your next shot and then putt. If you can make their up and downs happen, that is really, really where the magic is. So that's one thing that I always, tell beginner golfers. They're like, oh, I really want to, be able to hit the ball like Bryson DeChambeau, or, hit the ball really long. And it's like, yes, that's great. And yes, you need that. And that's important. But focus on your wedges, spend time on the putting green, go and practice something that you might not even have to buy a basket of balls for. Just go and practice and make sure that you have that repetition. Because that's been something that I've had to really, really focus on in the past 6 years, that I feel like if I would have made it a little bit more fun at the beginning, and practice that a little bit more, I probably would have a lower handicap right now. So,
hey, you got time. You're still working on, like you said, just working on, and like anything else, you continue to work on what you think is maybe not your strong point, but of anything, especially when it comes to sports. But you said you're working on the short game, the putting, things like that, and as you continue to round, and you're showing it, and you're showing it on your page too. It's like, hey, you said you're being authentic on your page. I'm working on my short game. I'm working on maybe putting, maybe some scrambling and things like that, but having fun with it too. I think that's very important. For sure. Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. You said you got your strengths, the driver. If you do get your driver numbers up, would you want to do those competitions there? Because I see that the long drive competitions it's very popular too. Especially I see it on YouTube and everything too. If you do get your driver numbers up, would you be game for that to do that?
Yeah. So I've never really seriously considered it.
Okay.
But I have a lot of friends that are in it. And at the Golf Creator Open, I actually rode with Kelly, who is the world long drive champion, from a women's standpoint. And I was kind of picking her brain on things of how she trains and, what her day-to-day looks like. And that content I'll actually be sharing here soon. Fortunately, it was really, really windy when I was, talking to her. So I've got a lot of editing to do, and it's just taken me a while to get that to a spot where you can actually hear her. But she gave some great advice, which is, continue to make it fun. Stay off YouTube. Don't watch golfers. Don't take tips from somebody that is, just trying to get your distance where it needs to be. But no, I've got a lot of friends in the long drive world that are like, well, you should come and try it, and I'm like, oh, we'll see.
Yeah, something to
That's
try.
one thing where we might have that in our future, but at the moment it's really not on my priority list. But I would say, if I do get my numbers up there, I could certainly try to compete and go that route. But yeah, it's not something I've ever really seriously considered.
Yeah. And then I think another important thing to bring up what you said is connecting with other content creators in the golf space and influencers in the golf space. How important is that when you are connecting with others from the from that perspective of content creators going to those type of events, and you say just talking and sharing advice and things like that? How important is that?
Yeah, so it's really important. I mean, you can still do it solo. It's not like you have
Mm-hmm.
to have that as a requirement from a content creator and influencer standpoint, but it really helps. And it also gives you a way to like bounce some ideas off of folks, or just be like, hey, like, what is your story? Like, let's, see what you're doing and what you're trying to, grow the game, and how you are going about that, whether that is going more the broadcasting media route, whether that is going the influencer route, or doing a combination of both. So it's really great to be able to connect with folks. One of my favorite events that I was just recently a part of is the Golf Creator Open. That took place down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And there were two really founders that said, hey, we want to get a bunch of golf creators together, and we want to have a scramble event where we can create content with each other. And then we want to have really a competition. So there was a stroke play event as well, where we got to actually compete against each other, which was really cool. And of course, there was a net and a gross flight. And so it was really awesome just to be able to play in that. My golf game did not show up, which is totally fine. It happens. But it was great to be able to connect with, other influencers, other content creators in the golf space, and just be able to have those connections, because we're all in this together. We're all really trying to grow the game of golf at the end of it. And it's been crazy to see how much golf influencers have made an impact. Like the good invitational that we'll have coming up this next year, in 2026. It's really cool to see that YouTube quote unquote stars are now sponsoring a PGA Tour event. I never thought that would be the case. I always thought it was going to be, hey, we were going to be a part of it. We can certainly promote things, but it's been really cool to actually see their success and see how much they're taking that success and actually making an impact in the game.
Yeah, I think that's tremendous. Talk about, they said the impact in the industry of how it's rising with golf influencers, the content creators, changing the landscape of media coverage. As you said, you never thought that you would see golfers from YouTube or from the space getting that media coverage. I think it helps even on the professional side. It helps grow the sport, and that's what it's all about. I think that's a huge impact. Would you say that's like part of the rise of golf influencers and content creators, just changing the landscape of how people are consuming golf?
Yeah, I definitely would. So I really feel like it's no longer, you no longer turn on SportsCenter in the morning and are like, what's going on in the golf world or what's going on in the sports world.
Right.
It's you open Instagram, you open TikTok, you open YouTube, and it's very much, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. Here's what happened overnight, or here's what's upcoming. Yeah. And a lot of people are using it, as a news outlet, which is awesome. But it's also, how can you play in this space as an influencer and make sure that you're talking about things that are relevant, and you're talking about the events that are coming up. You're talking about things that people want to hear about. Like I, in the past, have shared my master's experience, because, I've been in the master's a couple times, and planning to go again this year. So it's really awesome when people are like, well, what do I do? I won the lotto. How do I, what do you do when you get to Augusta National? And being able to be like, this is exactly what you do. Here's some advice. So it's been really cool to be able to, make an impact just on things coming up. And I think that's been the change in the media landscape, is you've got influencers that are now broadcasters. You have influencers that are now sharing their experience to get you either excited about events that are coming up in the golf space, or just even get you out there to say, hey, like, I'm going to be at this event, let's do a meet and greet, or, come chat with me. So it's really cool to see stuff like that happen, because once again, I feel like it started as everybody was just sharing what was going on in their lives and kind of their highlight reel, to now it's very impactful. And you're seeing influencers, be making a difference, and, being that news source for people, which is really cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. And I'm definitely gonna reach out to you because I'm planning on going to not the Masters, but being there. The PGA Championship is here
Oh yeah.
next year in Pennsylvania, and where I'm from in Philly. So I'm like maybe 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away, and this will be my uh, first golf event as well. I want to go as a spectator. I want to go as a fan. Maybe there's like that week, maybe not for the tournament itself, but that week before. And there's so much to do, as you said. And I see and have had other golf influencers and things like that on the show. And they talked about going to the Masters and how overwhelming it was the first time they went. And as you said, it's just like what you see. It's what it is. So I'll reach out to you and ask for like some advice, like,
Yeah.
oh, what to do? And you said networking is definitely important and everything too. So you talk about going to the Masters, and you said you plan on going next year too, right? You said.
So yeah, if everything, we're crossing our fingers, if everything
Yes.
pans out the way that it should or that it has in the past. But yeah, that has been one highlight that my husband and I like to do together is go enjoy the Masters. It's really a special place. I went before he was able to go, so I had the opportunity to go in 2019. If you know anything about golf, Tiger Woods won that year. So
yes, he did.
See him Monday. So I went Monday and got to see him play, just practice rounds. I thought he looked amazing. So I did actually put some money on him, and that panned out really well. So yeah, but he's always super fun to watch. We'll see if he gets back in the swing of things here. There's talks of that, which will be very interesting to see if he comes back. But
yes,
yeah, to your point, it's very much sharing that experience. And if you've been to an event like a golf event, here's what to look out for. Here's even what to wear.
Right.
I know I get a question about that a lot from female followers that I have, or followers that are like, hey, my husband or boyfriend, like they're going, I'm going now too. What do I wear? What do I do? Like, how do I act? So, making sure that, you are sharing that experience, because it's really great if you know what to expect and you know how to prepare for it. And it can be such a fun time to actually get people, into the game in a different way, even if it's only just a fan base and them not playing it. But then being able to go out, watch a golf tournament, have those networking opportunities as well, because, we all know that whether it's VIP events or even if you're out on the course, you talk to people around you, and it's really cool because you can make different connections just even by attending a golf tournament.
Yeah, I definitely will be reaching out to you about that for sure.
You should.
Yeah, I will. I totally will. And like I said, I'm excited because it's we've had a lot of tournaments here, and but a major. It's been a long time. I did read how long. I forgot, but how long it has been since a major came here outside of Philadelphia. So. And I told my wife, I know she might not go, but I said, I'm going to go. I'm trying to get her to go, but I just said, hey, I want to just go, even if it's doing one day to see practice rounds, as you said. And I'm into golf betting and things like that too. I'm huge into that as well. So I remember Tiger Woods winning that Masters in 2019, the comeback. And so it'll be very, if I say 7 years later, make another comeback and see what he does as well. So you talked about a little bit. We'll get into a little bit more. I got a couple more before I let you go. I want to talk about, you said the golf betting, and how has that evolved too? Because after, it seemed like, for me at least, after when the pandemic in 2020. That's all that people could do was bet on golf as well. That was the only sport at the time. And I think that's what has actually really evolved and really have increased. And now, the golf betting is there's different ways to bet and everything too. How have you seen golf betting on that perspective has grown over the years as well?
Yeah. So, way back when we weren't, even doing sports betting. So
yeah,
that was
exactly.
something that has really evolved.
Good point. Yeah.
But second to that, I feel like, it really started with football. It started with baseball. It started with a lot of sports where, you had a lot of folks that were already watching it. And I feel like golf was kind of the last to like jump on. I mean, you might have had some bets that were happening, outside of the traditional apps that you're seeing now. But I feel like the golf world has now exploded from a betting standpoint. It goes from, if you're just sitting and watching a tournament as a fan being like, hey, I'll pay you, $5 if he gets on the green on this next shot, to you're putting money on somebody winning or being in the top 10. So it's been really crazy to see how that has exploded, and has gotten people more interested in the game. I mean, I have had friends that have reached out that are like, hey, who do you like this week? Because, I'm betting on golf and I don't know anything about it. And I'm like, well, don't put a lot of money on this person because here's what's happening in their world. Or,
right.
This person looks really great. But it's getting people to actually watch it. And so that's, similar to what fantasy football did for football. Is it's creating that for golf, where it's hey, I'm actually going to tune into this tournament, I'm going to watch it this weekend, or I'm going to watch the Masters because I have money on Tiger Woods or Justin Thomas or whoever you pick. And it's creating that way for people to actually interact with the game of golf that they would not have an opportunity to before. So it's really cool to see how that's exploded.
It has exploded a lot. And again, talking with people that are doing golf content, just, there's so many podcasts or, YouTube videos, and they break down the course and who's strong in that course on that, as you said, who's strong on that certain course. Somebody might reach out to you and say, well, they're not on a hot streak right now, so I don't think you want to use them on this, but they're very strong on this course with the greens and things like that. So you got to take all that into factor, especially when you're betting, even if it's just betting one, or if you're a DraftKings, you're betting for getting your 6 golfers into the next for the next round and all these things. Yeah, it could be. I do a lot of research on that and everything too. So on the golf betting side as well. So all right, I want to get into something that's very that you do with advocacy of military and veterans on your Instagram. The Instagram profile mentions inspiring military members and veterans to play golf. What drives that advocacy, and what impact do you hope to have on that? And I really commend you of doing that as well.
Yeah, so it's an amazing cause. I'm a full believer in golf can save lives. I went through, some rough times in regards to my personal life, and golf was always there for me. I mean, that's really where I poured myself into golf when that was happening. So I really do feel like it can create a mental challenge for you, where that's where you focus on, and you wake up in the morning and you continue to grind, you continue to work to try to master this game that is, almost impossible to master. So it's one that I know it can have an impact from a mental health standpoint. So I have been, working with different organizations over the years, from the Veteran Golfers Association to PGA Hope, to, you name it, from a veteran organization standpoint. I've been trying to support them, give them just some media and some impact in regards to getting the word out there to veterans. So I appreciate what every single veteran does, or every single active duty service member does, because we can never thank them enough. Freedom is not free, and what they do for us and for our country is absolutely amazing. So even just giving back to them of, hey, let's get you into something that is fun, or let's get you into something that will possibly change your mental health. I have interviewed a bunch of different veterans where they literally have said, if the game of golf did not exist, I would not be here. Just because of that mental health, that competitiveness, that drive for them to get better, that drive for them to constantly be working on something. And our veterans, they do so much. I know this secondhand. My husband is an Army veteran. So I've seen it, secondhand, definitely not firsthand, but secondhand in regards to what the impact is, and what they have to go through. And I really do feel like getting them into the game of golf, it mimics some of the things from a military standpoint of, what you have to work for. And it's very much a mental challenge, as we all know. So once again, I do feel like golf can save lives, and it's super important to have the opportunity for veterans to, pick up the sport, to get some clubs, whether it's at a discounted rate or whether it's free, or, have golf clinics for them, put on events where we're raising money to get our veterans into golf. So that's why I feel like it's so important and so impactful, and why I dedicate so much time to getting veterans into golf.
I think that's very inspiring, and you said that's many blessings to you for doing that. And you're right. I think in the military, what they go through, what they've gone through, and even afterwards to have something like this for someone like yourself to, you said, is inspiring for them to, they go through their mental health is very important. I talk about this on the show all the time about mental health, burnout, needing something, an outlet when someone is struggling with mental health. So you said golf is to save lives, and I really commend and respect what you're doing on that aspect. So I wanted to give you this platform to discuss that and how important it is, how inspiring it is for you on a personal level as well. So they said much respect and the inspiring story of helping military and the vets have an outlet to be able to say, to have that, competition, dealing with mental health and able to say, okay, I love they said it helps them with that and deal with a lot of things that they've dealt with. So yeah, I really commend you on that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like I said, great causes, and
Mm-hmm.
I encourage everybody, even if you are just a golfer and you're like, I don't, really know a lot about military life, look into supporting, PGA Hope, Veteran Golfers Association, things like that, that are part of your community, because it does make an impact, even if you think
Yeah.
it's just, oh, they're just going to have some fun for, 30 minutes at a clinic. That might make that might make their day, that might make their year, depending on what they're going through. And it can make a huge impact.
Absolutely, as you said, it just being there for them for 30 minutes, networking and discussing and talking about it. Yeah, so like I said, I really commend that. I mean, when I reached out to you and I saw that, I wanted to, like you said, give that platform for you to talk about that and how important and inspiring that is for you as well. All right, just got two more before I let you go. You talk about you golf fashion, and I saw you do a lot with that and everything too. Talk about, what would you say your definition? What is your definition of golf fashion, and what would you say is your fashion of the definition of what you do when you're on the golf course?
Yeah, so golf fashion it's crazy right now. And it's taken a turn from, we normally had traditional like golf pants, then like shorts came along,
Yeah,
and then you've got like joggers coming out, for both women and men. It's crazy to see how, the sport has evolved from a fashion standpoint, to the
yeah,
point where like hoodies are now acceptable, which I know people love and hate hoodies. There's people who are like, absolutely not. And then there's people that are like, it's fine. It's a golf hoodie. Like, we're golfing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it really just depends on, your traditional take, or like if you're, more progressive in regards to what we've seen fashion go into. I myself kind of, I dabble in both. I really do like the traditional, look in regards to polos and things like that. But women's fashion in the golf world has been very much a challenge. And I feel like we're now starting to see companies pick up and be like, oh,
yeah,
we have to have a women's line. Oh, we have to make sure that it's comfortable and that it's flattering, and that it's not just taking a men's box polo and, putting it in pink with a bow on it. Like, it's coming a long way, which is great. And I really appreciate it, because it's been difficult, especially when I was starting out, to find women's golf clothes that were flattering. And I would have to go to like the tennis section, or go to, another sports wear, active wear, and kind of make it golfy. So
yeah.
it's been really great to see women's golf fashion take off. And then on the men's side of the house, like I said, it's been really interesting to see it change from very much a like, this is what you wear, it's khakis and a polo, and that was like the uniform across the board, to joggers and hoodies and different options. And I
Yeah,
just think it's, with the media, and in the media world, the golf world has really evolved to say like, hey, this is a hard enough sport, let's make it actually like comfortable, and let's enjoy
yeah,
ourselves when we're out there. Let's not make it about what you wear. I know there's still very much those traditional clubs, which I greatly appreciate and understand, that, you have to be wearing the polo for and things like that. And I appreciate that. I really do. I think that shows
yeah.
respect for the game. But it's been very interesting to see, where the lines have gotten blurred a little bit in regards to the fashion sense. So it's been fun. It's been really cool.
Yeah, then he said I see the golf fashion on for the men and women, and you're right. There's so many brands now that are. You said they're finally saying, "Oh, there should be a women's line." Yeah, yes, definitely should be. But as you said, it has evolved, and you just kind of navigate through and say, "Okay, now I can." You said they have the traditional, and it's great, respect and everything too. But things have changed from you said from to even the year from 2000 to now 2025, things have definitely changed over those years. And if you say in the 90s and things like that, yeah, you definitely see it has evolved because even the shoe game of golf has definitely changed
Oh yeah.
too. Of brands, so many different brands and things like that. So yeah, the shoes and sneakers are totally different as well. So all right, last one. I've really enjoyed this conversation. What are your main goals for the next 5 years when it comes to golf the golf content creating and things like that, or even just for the next 2 years? Don't even go 5 years. Next 2 years, what are your main goals?
Yeah, so for the next 2 years, my main goals are number one, to continue to make an impact, to grow the game,
Yep.
whether that is to, show a wife and a mother that she can get into the game of golf. She can
Yeah.
have a full time career and golf. She can travel and golf. She can do all of these things and golf. To continue to grow the game for our veterans, to make sure that that is a huge impact in regards to getting them into the game of golf or having them continue with the game of golf, and really just being able to be more authentic. Once again, like I pride myself on that, but I know there's a lot of people that they see a video and they're like, oh, that blew up, I'm going to copy it.
Mhm.
That is not something that I pride myself on. So continuing to be authentic would continue to be a goal. So grow the game of golf, continue to support our veterans in the game of golf, and continue to be authentic would be my three top goals.
All right, love it. I love it. Well, Elizabeth, thank you for the time. I really appreciate this conversation. I thank you that we've connected and networked a little bit, and hopefully I can have you on again. Like I
Yes.
said, I'm totally going to reach out to you about just what to expect and on these on the golf turn, these major golf tournaments and things like that. You are definitely the one I'm going to reach out to, and but I appreciate you. Said appreciate what you're doing. For the military and the veterans for sure. And again, thank you for everything that you're doing. But let everyone know where they can follow you on social media as well.
Yes, so you can follow me. It's at Elizabeth_Diane 22. I know it's a very long name, but if you
Mhm.
just search Elizabeth Diane Veith, I will hop up on all socials.
All social. So yeah, so that's Instagram, and I know you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I know you're on Instagram. I think I saw you on Twitter. So yep, just like I said, Elizabeth
Twitter,
underscore
TikTok.
Diane.
Yep.
Yeah, TikTok, Elizabeth Diane 22 underscore 22. Follow Elizabeth and all she's got going on as well. But happy holidays to you and the family. Many blessings and coming up because like I said, Christmas will be here in in no time. Thanksgiving is over now. Christmas is here. But yeah, so many blessings to you, and we'll hopefully do this again real soon.
Yes, you too. Thanks so much for having me. And yes, talk to you soon.
That's how you said. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.